Hi, and a very warm welcome to Wellbeing, Mission Control. I'm Greg Parry. I'm a wellbeing specialist, and for thousands of years we've known as human beings that the root cause of all of our negative emotions is fear. It's an interesting concept, and it's something we should really explore a little bit further today, because I wonder if you've ever asked yourself what makes you angry? Why do you get angry? Why do you feel this overwhelming tide of frustration that sometimes overtakes us? In our world, it's a perfectly normal reaction, and we have plenty of things that we can use to justify our anger. But it's sometimes fascinating to ask ourselves, why do we get angry? What is it about a situation or an individual, their behavior, that triggers this kind of response? Where does this come from? Yeah, I know. A lot of it comes from our early childhood conditioning. But there is a technique that I'd like to share with you that can help you to break the cycle of negative emotions. And it's just a habit you can develop very easily where you pause. You just take a moment to pause before you react. You interrupt that knee-jerk reaction and just ask yourself, what is going on here? We've been educated, conditioned from early childhood to believe that something happens and we respond immediately. There's an event and there's an emotional outcome. But there is a little moment, a fractional moment between those two events where we can really learn to choose how we react, whether you even want to react at all. This is a very powerful dynamic because it's a fantastic way to interrupt the chain of conditioned behavior. If all of our negative emotions can be ultimately traced to a common root, the root is fear. It's not very often that we take the time to consider what we're afraid of. It's not always a very comfortable experience, and when you're reacting, you probably don't feel that you have the time or the energy to start deconstructing your emotions and trying to work out what is generating the fear at its deepest base. Of course, if you succeed in identifying what you're afraid of, even though it might not seem to be related to your anger or the way that you're reacting at the moment, you disarm it. Because fear, it can't exist in the same space as rational analysis. Interesting, huh? So, I'm not suggesting we do this all the time, but the more you practice this simple technique, the more control you'll be able to exercise over your anger, your fear, your doubt, all those negative emotions. And it's just a moment of hesitating, just pausing to consider how you're going to react. That little interruption gives you a chance to say, I'm not even going to react to this. Or, why am I reacting? Perhaps I can choose a more positive reaction. This changes the whole dynamic of your emotional platform. You have more choice. The palette of emotional responses is broadened. You get a chance to introduce something either neutral or perhaps even more positive, even to difficult, challenging situations. That's a really positive step forward in terms of developing deep inner peace, balance. It's fantastic for your health and your well-being. Because we know that when we get angry, we get a shot of adrenaline, a lot of cortisol flushing around for a few moments to save our lives in response to a threatening situation. That's perfect. Problem is, most of us are reacting with this extreme injection of very, very stressful hormones all the time. And most of our reactions are quite out of proportion to the events which seem to be triggering them. So this is my suggestion for the day. Learn to stop, pause, take a moment to reflect. It's that moment that breaks the chain of reactions, puts you back in control of how you really want to feel. What do you think? Do you have any suggestions, any reactions, anything you'd like to share? Please feel free to get in touch. My email address is in the description. In the meantime, let me wish you a wonderful day.